Welcome back. This is Dan Havey with CFninjaHacks, and in this video today we're going to go through how you can put together a simple accordion for something like FAQs or what I did over here with my quick start blueprint to be able to show videos. But this is definitely one of the things that I get the most requests for is people wondering how you can put together an accordion. And I've been doing this for a couple of years now, so I figured it was about time that I perfect what I was doing and to shoot a video on it. So in the quick start blueprint, how I have it set up is this is a hyperlink, and you click on the hyperlink and you can open or close each one of these videos beneath it. Or when you click on it again, it closes the open video and then opens up a new one. And I thought in this case here, there's really no reason to have more than one video open at a time, because when you click on it, it opens up a pop-up window so you can watch the video. So there was really no reason to do it. And so when you click on it, it opens and closes. And then, like I said, when you click on another one, it closes any that are currently open. Now, when I built out this mock-up here for an accordion for an FAQ, what I did is I left it so that it would be open. If you had more than one at a time, it would just leave them open. And I thought that was more important for an FAQ to have them open instead of like closing them every time you clicked on a different one. So let me see here. Let's just jump in and let's start looking at how I just set up these elements. All of these are just 5 headline elements built right inside of ClickFunnels. And in case you're wondering, instead of just using elements, you could use, like I have down here, is I have an element, a headline element with a section around it. Actually, let me just go in over here. I have a section in the background, then I have a row, and I have a headline element, and then I have a 2-column row and an image and a paragraph element. And you're not limited to just being able to do this with headline elements. As you see as we go through this, you can apply this code to any element, and you can open up a row, you could open up an individual text element like this, you could even open up an image like I did on number 3. So there's any number of different ways you can do this. As you see here, we have it just kind of sliding in from the left a little bit. We have the caret rotating. We got the hover, of course, as you come in. Here you click on anywhere inside of the element, which is the way that I finally ended up doing it. Whereas here I had it so you would just click on the link itself and open and close the element like that. And then again, I have it synced up, so this slides in half a second, and this rotates in half a second. And so you want to make sure you set that up so that they're going at the same speed. And as far as setting that speed, you can set it at a number of different things. You don't have to set it at all. You can set it as fast, you can set it as slow, or you can set it as a number of milliseconds or seconds or parts of a second, whatever you would like. So let's just go in here to begin with, and let's look at everything by opening up all of the hidden elements. So you want to make sure you hide the content elements and leave the header, the button essentially open. And again, like I said, button, you could use a button element here as well. You could use a paragraph element. You could use an image even to open up one of these things. Basically, all we're doing is we're saying, if you click on this element, doesn't matter what the element is, if you click on this element, open up a different element. That's really what this comes down to in the end. And so again, all I have here is paragraph, paragraph, have an image, paragraph, and paragraph. So on the first couple here, like I said, I set this up originally on the first 3, so you would click on the link. Well, I decided I didn't like that. I wanted somebody to be able to click anywhere anywhere inside of this box. Also, I didn't like the fact that you kind of had to put your icon here. Again, I could have coded it otherwise, but that's how I did it down here at the bottom. So at the bottom, this is not a hyperlink, and if you click anywhere inside of this box, then it will open. But let's just go back up to the top here, and we're going to see that this is just nothing but a headline element, a little bit of a background color. Let's go into advanced. In here, I did some 15 pixels of padding. I told it to put that caret element in front of it, and otherwise I put a border around it. On this one here, we got a little bit more fancy. I came in with some white text and a red background. And then in the advanced section, we have, let me see, we got the 15 pixels again. We have a caret, we got some text shadow, and then, well, we got 5 pixel radius on the corners. Got a full border and a 40% drop shadow. So it really makes it pop off of the page. And again, looks almost like a button now. And again, you could use a button. And then here, all I did is I did the gray background with a 1 pixel border at the bottom. And then over here, I just did this as a little bit of CSS if you wanted to go that direction. So we got our CSS right here. And let me skinny this up a little bit. And we just have our border left of 5 pixels red. So that creates the border. And then we got a radius of top left 5 pixels, bottom left 5 pixels, and then on the right hand side we have no radius at all, so it's got the square corners. So now let's go in and let's take a look at the code on this. And again, we don't need to look at that top part because that's not what we're using. And I guess I did not save this. I had made some changes and they didn't save. That's okay. So what we have here, the very first line of the code, there could be a script tag right here, and in fact, there should have been. In fact, let me just put that in real quick. Okay, now we got it set up right, so we have our script tag at the top and the bottom of what we're going to be working on. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to say, look for a data title that contains the asterisk and an equal means contain FAQ2. Now let me show you where we did that. What I did originally when I came in is all 5 of them I called FAQ-1, FAQ-2, FAQ-3. So then when I started changing it out, I just came into this one. And again, we click on settings, come down and click on the hashtag. And this says title here. It's known in the code as a data title. And all I did is I just dropped in this 2 just to differentiate it as I was writing out the code. So now let's go back into our code here, and we got data title that contains FAQ2. So in the other ones that have -4 or -5, but we don't really care about that. We want to go in there and we want to find the elements that have that, and then we want to not use that element. We want to use the next element, the child element of this, and the child element has a class of L_headline. And what we want to do is we want to append to that headline, we want to append this HTML code. Now let me show you how that looks on the page. So we got this right here. So the whole element here is the FAQ2. This part in here is the L headline, and we're going to append the code to it that's going to create this little icon right there. And so that code, the I class of FA blah, 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 where you find that is you go over to Font Awesome and you search on their icons and you type in caret down. You click on that, it'll open up this page right here. And all we have to do is come in here and we just say copy HTML, come back over to our page and paste in that HTML right there. And what that does then is that will add that caret after L headline. Now, before we look at the rest of the code, where that would live would be right here, but because I put in some CSS code, I have it pushed all the way over to the edge. So now let's take a look at the next line of code, and it says the same thing here. We start off the same, looking for our FAQ2 click function. That says that if somebody clicks on FAQ2, we want to run the next couple lines of code. And actually, I can take out that line right there. So we're going to run the next couple lines of code. And what we're going to say is $this, which means look for the active element. And the active element is the one right here that just got clicked on. So it says find this element, this FAQ2 that somebody just clicked on, and don't use that element, use the next element. And so what it does is it searches down the DOM tree until it finds the next sibling in line. Not a child, not a grandchild, the next sibling in line within the code. And then it says we want to toggle it which toggle just means turn it on or off, hide or show it. So if it's showing right now, it'll hide it. If it's hiding, it will show it. And then to do that over 500 milliseconds, which is half a second. And that's why I said here, you want to sync up this number here with this number down here. So that's half a second, that's 500 milliseconds. And you can completely take that out. And then if so, you want to make this 0, or you can put in any other number between, well, I guess it could be any other number, but normally it's between 0 and 1,000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. So then what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, again, we're going to take this element that got clicked on up here, and we're going to look inside of that element, and we're going to look for children or grandchildren of it that have an I tag. And that's the I tag we put in right up here. So we're looking for this element at that point, and we're going to say toggle the class. So up here we toggled it to turn on or off. Here what we're going to do is we're going to toggle this class on or off. So we got caret up class right here. So what it'll do is every time it is clicked, it'll either turn the caret up class on or it'll turn the caret up class off. And the caret up class is right here. And all this says is to transform the element by rotating it 180 degrees. So again, you saw that already a whole bunch of times here. As we click on it, it just rotates it around 180 degrees in half a second. So the half a second part comes in is up here. We said take all of the elements that have or contain FAQ, so that would be FAQ2 dash something or just FAQ dash something. Take all of those elements, find the I element inside of it, I tag within it, and we're going to create a transition with that. And the transition is going to be for all of them, and it's going to be half a second, and it's going to be linear. So what we're going to do is when the element rotates, is going to take half a second to rotate, and it's going to be linear. And by linear, what it means there's a lot of different options you can put in there. You can have it ease in or ease out or whatever. I don't know how many options there are, but that's what it is. That's just one of the options so that it just does it, you know, the same speed the entire way. So it's just a smooth rotation of that caret. So right up here, this CSS says to take any of them again that start with FAQ and go to the element headline like we did up here. So we got our L headline, right? This whole area here is our L headline. And it says when somebody hovers over it, turn the background color, that red pinkish color that I picked for some reason to put in there. And so that's how that works. And then the last thing we have to look at is right down here at the bottom, we got our data title again of FAQ2 and I. So what that says is take that I element again that we created up here, which is our caret, and we want to move this item. So I said normally if we didn't have this last bit of code, it'd be sitting right here. This couple lines of CSS takes it and pushes it all the way over here to the right-hand side. So what we're saying here is we want to absolute position this. So we're going to tell it absolutely where we want it to sit. So it looks inside of the container that it's in. The container that it's in has already gotten position relative. And so it says inside of that container where it's living, we want to put it in a very specific spot. And where that spot is over to the right. We're going to go to the right-hand side, and then we're going to come back in 20 pixels. So you see here, we're 20 pixels in from the right-hand side. And then we have to center it top to bottom. So what we're going to say here is we're going to calculate 50% of the height of the element that we're inside of. Remember, everything always goes off of the element you're living inside of with this. So we got 50% of the height of the element minus 15 pixels. Well, 15 pixels is half of what we got the font size to be. So the icon itself is 30 pixels tall. If you split everything in half, we just need half of that in order to have it centered perfectly in the middle. So that is really it for getting this set up. So again, simply we have to come in, we create all of the elements, we give them data title names. That's the most important part here really of any of this. You got to give each one of the areas that are going to be clicked on, each one of the headlines in this case. But again, you could use any element you want. So each one of our headlines here, we had to give that a data title. And then what we're going to say is, after the element, the headline element here, we're going to add in that caret. And then when somebody clicks on our headline, in this case, when somebody clicks on the headline, we're going to turn on and off the content, the box that is below it. We're going to hide and show that next element below it. And then we're also going to add this class of caret up to that I element, to that I tag right here, which is our caret. So we're going to add caret up to the caret itself. So that is it, a real quick run through of exactly how to get this set up. Again, you can do this with any kind of elements that you want. You can do this with images. You can do it with rows or sections, anything that you would want. And I'm sure you're going to find a lot of uses for this code. So that is it for now. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.